and that is step number 2. So how do you do that? I think you know very well. Now after this, I'm going to add a file to the Git. So can I do that? So here git add file 1.java. I added it. This I want to version it. Okay, that code, the file 1.java, I want to version it. So here I have that. And then how do we commit? So commit is something which is like permanently storing the history. So, but Git is confused with one thing, and that is who are you who's committing this? That's the question. Who are you? So because there is no user ID and password, because it's a local repository you are working against. So in Git, you will do before committing this one-time activity. Okay. Set your name and email address for commit. So how do we set it? So here git commit. No. Git config user.name user.name. What is my name? Rajesh Kumar. And git config user.email Rajesh at the rate of DevOps. This email ID can be fake also. Okay, but this is my right email ID. Correct. So this you will set it up only once, only one time, and you are good to go. So for each repo you have to set it up. Who are you? So I'm Rajesh. My email address is this. Can I run this code? Clear the screen. Paste it. Done. And after that, I'm going to commit here. So git commit -m adding first commit and committed. This is committed, and you see here one file. How many lines of code I had inserted? 5, and so on. So this is the 4th step, and 5th step I'll show you. Git log and so this is the commit which I made it, and this is the commit ID, which is a 40 character SHA-1 object ID, which will represent your commit. So there's no versioning concept like 1, 2, 3, 4, but you will every commit it will generate one ID, which will be unique to the Git, and you see that. So here, step number 5. So here, if you look at this, these are the steps which you follow to work on Git. Are you able to understand that, all of you? All of you?
Rajesh. Yes.
So out of this 2 to 6, you will 2 to 5, you will keep doing lifetime actually. Lifetime. Except this one time, this one, 2, 3, 4, 5. You will write a code, add a file, add a code to the Git, commit a file, and see the committed code. So this you will keep doing. So now let's understand this one. So git log, this is your commit. So here you see, this is the commit ID. You can call it SHA, checksum, whatever you want to call it. This is the unique ID which will identify your commit. So the question, if you want to trace it, what was committed? So this is committed. This is the file using the show command. You can see show and commit ID. Why this commit has happened? Because of this region. where the commit has happened in the root locations, which you see this is depicting root locations. When the commit has happened, of course, the timing is you have it. And who has committed this code? So, are you able to understand all of you?
So each time we do this, it gives the latest information on a particular file, right?
It's not file. When you commit, that commit information, you will see that. Means whatever that you committed, that you can identify using this commit ID. And about this, all information you have it, commit information. Got it, all of you?
Okay.
Rajesh, I have already supposed a Java code is there. I have created some Java code. Now how Git means how I can add that code to the Git and get it forward.
Nothing. You know that here you will do that. You write a code, or here write a code means add a code, copy paste the code. It's up to you. And after that, do the rest of the stuff. Got it? So guys, this is the flow every time when you have to do, when you want to version some of your code, which you write here. But what is adding a code, committing a code? I did not understand this. I did not understand what is happening. So I want to understand this adding and committing in detail. So before that, there's one keyword which is called distributed, which we need to understand. So now I gave you a little bit of demo so you understand that. So there is a two model in the versioning control system. One model which we have is server and client model. Another model which we have is a distributed model. So what happens in the server and client model, there is one machine which is server. There is a one machine which is, you can call it server. And there we have one repo. Remember that I created repo here somewhere. Get in it. So there we have one repo, and this one repo you have a two component. One is files, the one which you commit, and then meta information. Meta means who, what, why, and all stuff like that. These are the meta information. So now if you want to access this repository, this is a developer's laptop. Okay, this is developer's laptop, and they need to install the client here. There's a client here, and there's a client here, and client talk to the network, and they get the working copy here, working copy. Developers work on the working copy, and then add and commit at the server level. So that means anything which you want to see, if you anything you want to do with this system, which you can do with the server only, add, delete, rename, you know, branching, merging, viewing, comparing, everything for that server connection is needed. So here you have a server model and this is the client model. So most of the system which I discussed earlier, like CVS, SVN, Perforce, TFS and all, this is based on the server and client model. Okay, but now we are talking about a distributed model. So what happened in a distributed model? This is your laptop. You create a repository your own, and this is the client, Git client which I'm using, and you work on your own local repository. So everyone wants to work on anyone else you want to version the source code. They need to do the commit against. They need to do the add or everything against the local repository. Every one of us will create our own local repository. You will add, commit, branch, merge, log, rename, upload. Whatever you want to do, you will do against your own repository. So this model is called distributed model. In this distributed model, there's one challenge which you have is like how do we share the code with each other? That means okay, I can do everything my own, But what about in a team you want to share the code? That we'll talk about in some time. But this is distributed model. Are you understanding, all of you?
Yeah.
Okay, so now coming back to the next question, what is happening while adding and committing the file? What is happening? So let's understand in this way. Okay, so now let's talk about this one. This is the repo 2. Okay, so I'll draw this picture. This is the whole directory, and this is considered repo 2. This is repo 2. Now repo 2, if you look at this, is divided into two parts. One is this and one is all this. So let's divide into two parts. Okay, one is this one. Okay, and this is our workspace, and one is this one. This is our repository. Agree with me, all of you? Agree with me, all of you?
Yeah.
Hello. Now this is the workspace where you are writing code. This is your code, and this is you. You are writing code in this directory. But what happens when you do the add and commit? Look at the flow. What happens when you do the add, and what happens when you do a commit? So guys, interestingly, this repository is also divided into two parts. Okay, and one part we call it staging area, and one part we call it repository. So the repository is another part. Now then you will say, Rajesh, what is the staging area inside .git? What is the repository area inside a Git? That I will suggest not get into that. But for time being, you should say .git is divided to two parts. One is staging, one is repository. If you go and try to find out your own, then you'll find confusing directory like this. Okay. So it's like this. So now the coming back to the question, what is the difference between what happens when you add and what happens when you commit? So guys, what happens when you add any new content? It can be new files or existing file you modify. When you add a new content, then what happens? This from the files when you get add, these files get into staging area. How? So this is using add command. And when you commit, here you committed, right? Commit a file. What happened? Whatever you had in staging area, it got to the repository and become one commit here. This is a commit. Okay. So if someone asks you, okay, what happens when you add a file? So adding a file means you are sending a file from workstation to staging area. This is staging area, and this is the workspace to staging area. And what happens when you commit the file? So when you commit, then it's travel the file from staging area to repo area, and that's where the commit is being stored. So repo is the final resting place for this. Did you understand that? What happens of add and commit?
Thanks for watching. Want to study further? Join our training programs today.